Howdy folks, how are you? How's the sound? And how is the lighting? Hero listy. Zelda says, yay, hero list. Listy says, will this countdown go from 0 to hero? Waka waka waka. Zelda, okay, my number 1 is Jambareeqi's British Mayor Faye. What? I don't know what that's a reference to, sorry. Leo, perfect timing, just got my, I can't pronounce this, I'm just going to say Bonjour. I can't pronounce it, Leon. You've told me about this thing you cook all the time, and I still can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. Evan Jambareeqi, I was just wondering, nowadays, do you play back all what you've edited in your videos after you think you've finished? Yes, I do 3 different playbacks. 3 different, yeah, pretty much three different playbacks. I do a playback before rendering. I make sure what I've rendered is okay. And then there's also the YouTube playback as well. So I do 3 different playbacks, so that's why it's very annoying if I do come across a mistake. What has happened with the DreamWorks video is that on the last playback, I must have noticed that the music wasn't the right volume, and I wanted to turn it down from 35 decimals to 40 decimals, and I didn't put the 0 after 4, it seems. That's what's basically happened, and unfortunately, yeah, the mistakes happen. I'm a one-man team. I'm very sorry it's happened, but I assure you, I do playbacks. I'm very strict with playbacks nowadays because I don't want situations like this to keep happening. But yeah, it's frustrating. All I can do is learn from it. But again, I don't skimp on playbacks. Trust me. So everyone's saying sounds good. Zelda says, for real, Mulan is my favorite. She's my role model. Cooper, you're looking slightly spiffy today. This is actually a costume from a cancelled film I worked on. all the costume and the equipment got sent back to me the other day. So I got like a box full of like nice clothes. I was like, I'll wear these. So you pronounce it Buff Bourguignon. Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, currently the DreamWorks video is rendering again. That's the other frustrating thing. The biggest annoyance when a mistake is reported for a long video, it drives me insane because I then have to re-render it, and that can take like an hour or 2, and then I have to re-upload it, which can take another hour or 2. It's very frustrating, and again, it's why I try my best to avoid those things. Chat box is like massive, so let's turn that down. Wow, it's like right at the top. Why was it on the rewriting type failed stream? It was absolutely massive, and then I mean absolutely tiny in ant size, and I couldn't fix it, and now it's too big. That's insane. That is crazy. Listy said, oh sorry, just missed one. Lou says, I was about to say it looks like you're wearing a lab coat. It's not a lab coat, it's this. It's for a project where I had to like I had to wear clothes that I don't usually wear. So I have a bag full of clothes now of fashion that's just not me. But like I like wearing it and it expands my wardrobe. Listy, just call it fancy beef. We all know what you mean. Zelda, no trick. I thought it was on my end. Soda, Twist Jam is secretly working on an animated experiment in the lab. Whenever I animate, I don't really wear anything official, by the way. I just wear casual clothes. Where am I? Where am I in chat? Cast, hey Jam, just getting ready for a read-through for the adult panto on Thursday. Good luck. 100% good luck there. Cooper, I remember seeing Shrek 2 5 times in the theatres. My highest record for any movie. Nice. I don't think I've been to the theatres more than once, except for maybe Frozen, because my girlfriend at the time dragged me to see it again. I think. I don't know. I really don't remember how many times it... Yeah, I tend to just wait till it comes on DVD. Evan, so Jambareeqi, what is the criteria for what counts as a Disney hero for this list? Basically, a lead character who's on the good side. It's going to be that broad. It's going to be that broad because I wanted it to be broad. I wanted it to be very broad. That's the only criteria, is that they have to be in a lead role of some kind. Like one of the primary characters, and they have to be one of the good guys. That's it. Nidwell, your DreamWorks sequel ranking that you released today was great. Did you take it off and redoing it due to live music being in the Shrek the Third part? Yes, I just explained this just now. It's rendering right now. It's gonna be up in a few hours. Soda, or just cross-playing as Dexter from Dexter's Lab. Leo, it's funny from the top part. It does look like one. Jambareeqi collects pores, moles, and fungus. The thing is, I can zip it up. now I'll look like a chaff. You what, mate? So to translate, I have a record, but I do remember seeing Finding Nemo twice in cinemas. Evan, does the list include TV heroes? No, just theatrical animated characters. That's it. From Disney's main animation studio. Pretty much. That's all. It's very simple. Very, very simple. But it was not simple to decide. I feel so bad leaving so many characters out. Even with a top 10, I was still like, but I want them in. It was very, very, yeah. Curse, what do you think of the Mutant Mayhem trailer? There's not much to really go on at this point, because it's just a very, very quick teaser. But I freaking love the art style. The art style looks absolutely amazing. It's so cool seeing other studios just taking the Spider-Verse style and just either one-upping it or like doing their own take on it, and like, yeah, it's fun, it's exciting. Nidwell, I hope you do a Pixar sequels ranking. Zelda, we grow a bit mature to see ups and downs to films when we're older. Yeah, I think that is the case, to be honest. That does happen quite a lot, I have noticed. And at the same time, though, I feel like there are some films that from my childhood that I hated and now I love. So yeah, it's kind of fascinating in a way. Soda, you look like you're about to do some Breaking Bad cooking when you've got that zipped up. Right, we'll start the countdown very soon. No rush, no rush. I think this is the first time I've actually done a full-on top 10 as well. The only reason... Like, the thing is, the poll for this week's Viewer's Choice had a lot of stuff where I was like, okay, could I do... I've got a day free for this day. Just go crazy. Just go crazy. That's the only reason why I'm able to do a top 10 today. Even then, I had a lot to prepare for this, and I was also kind of busy with other things as well. Evan, I'm glad you enjoyed Puss in Boots 2, Jambareeqi. There's just one thing I wondered that you never said in the video. What makes the sequel better than the original? This is something I'll definitely go into when I officially review Puss in Boots Last Wish. But like, yeah, I just wait for that. Wait for when I officially review it, because like on the spot I can't answer something like that. Leo, I love how we're stuck between uranium and you want me. You want me, Cursed. Yeah, I know we don't have a teaser for Wish, but after looking at the promotional image more closely, I noticed it had some Spider-Verse qualities, which does make me quietly excited. Well, it's also from the makers of Mitchell's vs. the Machines, sorry. That's why it has that style. That's why they've gone for that kind of style. And it's what's made me very hopeful about it as well. Computer guy. Oh, have I just? No, I haven't. Computer guy. Hi, just arrived. Is your internet all right? After last time, I'm pretty sure it was the emulator. I don't think it was the emulator, but I will talk to you, computer guy, at some point to like work out if it is the emulator. I don't think it is though. I think it was just crap internet. Nadewell, I cannot wait for your DreamWorks villain ranking. There are so many of them. Yeah, that'll be a while yet. I'm gonna wait until Last Wish comes out. In the UK digital, I mean. Ospado, hello, how are you doing? Aside from maybe Donatello's voice not feeling right, I'm very hyped for the new Team and Team movie. I'm fine with the voices. I'm glad that they're finally making them sound like actual teenagers. Evan Puss in Boots was done by DreamWorks, not Sony Pictures. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that's a reference to. I was saying that the Team NT Mutant Mayhem, that's from the creators of Mitchell's vs. the Machines. The same filmmakers. And you've got to remember the different filmmakers switch studios. Listy, he looked like he was about to breakdance in that 90s Ramsey video like that. Can we stop the jokes? Can we stop the jokes? I already got a load of jokes when I was filming this project on the set. Here we go. More like it trying to create a connection within the emulator computer. Mine warned me about that when I tried to use it. We'll see how Friday's stream goes. If it buggers up again, then like I will round it down to like, yeah, it was the emulator. Most likely emulator. Yeah. We will get on with the countdown very, very soon. Be very patient. And I'll make something very clear. I have no notes. I have no notes whatsoever. I'm diving right into this. I'm diving straight into this. With no script. I usually have like at least some notes, because like I'm not someone who kind of like, how do I explain this? I don't feel confident talking about things on the spot. Like I can improv act, because like that I can just bring it, I can just take that out of anywhere. But like trying to articulate what I want to say in certain things, particularly when I'm being recorded, I go into panic mode. So I'm very sorry if this top 10 just doesn't seem right, and like I'm not explaining myself very well. But like, it happens. It happens. I just didn't get time to write the notes. I was so busy with like other things, I didn't get round to writing any notes. So like, I'm just gonna off the top of my head just. Plus, another thing is that some of these films I might not have seen for a long time, so I might say something that's not true. So sorry about that. Billy, hello, Jamie, just in time. Leo, you hit the nail on the head. They actually sound like teenagers now. Donnie is so adorable. Soda, but then again, the voices from the 80s cartoon have been drilled into my brain. It might be nostalgia you might be being clouded by nostalgia. Because like I've had the same thing. Like when I first heard David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck, I was like, that's not Scrooge McDuck. But the thing is, it's going to be Scrooge McDuck for another generation, so it's not like it's a bad Scrooge McDuck. But Alan Young will always be my Scrooge McDuck. Good guy, don't you want to make a mock stream for that instead of risking losing the Friday stream again? I don't know how would I do a mock stream? Good guy, how would I do, like, I guess I could privatize it? I guess, like, do a private one. I don't mind doing that. I'll see what I can do. Billy, Jackie Chan is a perfect choice for Splinter. Hell yes, absolutely, yeah. Especially if you watch his performance in the Karate Kid remake, like I feel like he could bring the drama and the humor to the role. So like, yeah, it's good casting. The only casting I'm kind of like, what about is Post Malone. What's Post Malone doing? I don't get it. I kind of get it because it's like name recognition, but at the same time I'm like, what? So the most likely, because once again, when I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, the first thing that pops into my head is the voice from the 90s cartoons. I get that as well. Yeah, that's the same for me. I make the same association. Adam, honestly, I kind of wish David Tennant was the permanent replacement for Alan Young's Scrooge. Well, is Alan still alive? I thought Alan passed away, didn't he? Leo, oh shit, I didn't know Jackie was Splinter. I'm surprised he hasn't been Splinter before. Yeah, it's perfect. It's actually perfect casting. Here we go. If Twitch can't set up a private stream, just make an unannounced stream and call it testing or something. Okay. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I'll definitely keep that in mind. At the same time, I could do YouTube. I know YouTube does a private stream, so I don't mind testing that. I really do want to play that game, so let's hope it goes well. Anyway, let's do my top 10. Sorry, Soda says, yeah, Alan Young's been dead for a few years now. 40 balls, I was like, because like, I swear the last time I checked it was in his 90s. I knew he was very old, even when like I grew up with DuckTales. And that was a while ago. Anyway, so we're going to talk about my top 10 Disney heroes. This was really tricky to decide. Super tricky to decide. Even harder to kind of put them in an order I liked. And I feel like this probably would be like a different list if I'd given myself a bit more time. But like this is the best I could come up with at this point. So yeah. Here we go. There's not going to be a clip for every single one, by the way. I've only got like a couple of clips. I just didn't get time. Didn't get time to like. Okay, so my number 10. My number 10 is Aladdin. From Aladdin. Yes. I'm kind of surprised that he's this low on my countdown, but like it just goes to show how great a lot of these heroes really are. But I really do adore Aladdin. I mean, like he was my first animated hero as a kid. Like Aladdin was actually the first film that I saw in cinemas. So like it's very special to me in that sense. And like what I love about him is that he's got that cheeky rascal nature, but he's also got like heart of gold at the same time. And he's kind of a romantic, but at the same time, he can be rebellious, and like there are moments where he will stand up to authority. And to me, my favorite parts is whenever he's at his most compassionate, like particularly the bread scene. Absolutely love this scene, by the way. The bread scene where you can tell that he has like worked really hard as a thief to get hold of this bread. It's probably his only meal for like the next few days. But he sees these starving kids, gives up his bread, and it's like that paints such a wonderful picture of who Aladdin is. And I like that he's one of those rare heroes in Disney animated films that's flawed, that makes mistakes, that goes down the wrong path, because it's what makes him more human, what makes him more relatable. He's not the perfect hero. He's someone who ends up deceiving his love interest, someone who almost betrays Genie, and sometimes lets his temper go. And that just to me is a more interesting hero. And it is, when you have a flawed hero, it makes it easier for audiences to go, I could be as good as him, because I too sometimes make mistakes. Like that's what I love about him. Where am I in chat? Soda, Aladdin the lovable rogue. Yeah, that's a good description of him. Adam, Scott Weiner is one of those actors who always sounds the same even years later. He does. I remember like you hear him in Metropolis and you hear him in the original Aladdin. It's the same voice. Evan, why do you think many movies try to do Aladdin all over again and keep failing? Off the top of my head, don't know. I really don't know. Sorry. Leo, what first came to mind was he has some great songs, even ones that were cut from the film but used in the Broadway musical. Yes, I kind of wish that we had. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted on whether like I like the idea of him having a mum, because like on the one hand it really does add a bit more sentiment to him, and like it could have like really developed his background and like why he's a kind person despite his poverty. But at the same time, I feel like not giving him a mum makes him seem more sympathetic, more lonely, and like you root for him to like find someone more. So it's cool. But I really want to show the bread scene. I've got to show the bread scene. It's so wonderful. Still holds up.
Here. Go on, take it.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Love it. Adam says, one thing I love about Aladdin's lie is that the only thing in his way of admitting to the truth to Jasmine is his lack of self-confidence. Yes, literally everyone else is advocating for him to come clean, particularly Genie and even the freaking carpet. Yes, yes, absolutely. Leo, it's funny because it wasn't just the mum. It wasn't, yeah, there was also his friends as well. And they had some really great songs. So like, again, same reason with the mum. I'm like, I wouldn't mind the friends being there, but at the same time, I'm fine with them not being there. I feel like both ways could have worked, really. We got the street rat with a heart of gold. Leo, I always love how Abu isn't on board with it. Like, nah, mate, we've been through so much shit to get this. Ah, fine. Yeah, I do like their dynamic. I really like their dynamic because Abu is on like a different part of the spectrum when it comes to like crime and morality compared to Aladdin, and so like there's that's what can inspire some really interesting kind of like conflicts in their friendship. Leo, a funny detail is that every time he lies to Jasmine, the feather on his turban flops down. Oh, I never noticed that. Adam, the Broadway show did include the friends. I heard about that. Yes. Evan, he actually hosted some DVD games on Aladdin movie DVDs. Does that still count? I guess so. I've not played those DVD games. So yeah, that's Aladdin. That's my number 10. That is my number 10 choice. And again, it feels weird to put him this low because like I love him so much, and I know some people don't like him. I've heard like there is controversy with people saying like how much they dislike him and stuff, but like I can't relate. Honestly, can't relate. I love him. Also, one of my favourite video edits was by Tony Goldmark, where after Aladdin says, someday we'll be rich, live in a palace and have no problems at all, he puts Scott's character from Full House saying, except maybe a concerned parent. So yeah, Aladdin. Let's move on to my number 9. My number 9 is Basil from The Great Mouse Detective. Now, I've recently started getting into the Sherlock books, and like I love the original Sherlock character, and what's interesting is that my relationship with the Sherlock character has made me also better appreciate Basil as a character when I've gone back to Great Mouse Detective, because like they really nail what makes Sherlock so great, while also kind of like giving a bit of a Disney tweak. But like, yeah, I love how talented he is I love how talented he is as a detective. I love his rivalry with Ratigan. And I love any part where we get to see how his mind ticks and how he explores certain things. Like, he's one of the way more intelligent Disney heroes. Like, he does have like some parts where you might think he'll get into a fight, and there is the big clock scene and stuff. But I feel like at the end of the day, he's a more sophisticated Disney hero, much smarter, much more strategic. But I also really like that he's how do I say this? He's like socially flawed, let's say. He can be rude, he can be impolite, and he can struggle to kind of like empathize, but like when push comes to shove and he does a little retrospective on himself, he's like, that's not how I should have handled that situation, because at the end of the day, he can let his detective work get in the way of his compassion, and that's not to say that he's not compassionate, because like he's very passionate about justice and about helping people. It's just that his brain is way more geared towards the science side of things. Where, let's find where people talk about it in chat. Billy, Jamie, have you watched the books it's based on? Read, sorry. No. Listy, damn you, Basil, trying to nudge me into the furry spectrum. Adam, was Great Mouse Detective your introduction to the Sherlock Holmes character? It was, actually, yeah. It was my first. Soda, the Great Mouse Detective is the king of Disney jump scares. Computer guy, even if he uses bullshit signs sometimes, his mind is pretty brilliant. Yeah, I like how he kind of like tracks things with his head and like finds little clues. Like a really good example is actually one of the clips I have. I'm going to show it.
Offhand, I can deduce very little. Only that the words are written with a broad, pointed quill pen, which is spattered twice. That the paper is of native Mongolian manufacture, no watermark, and has been gummed, if I'm not very much in error, by a bat who has been drinking Rodent's Delight, a cheap brandy sold only in the seediest pubs.
I really like that he does everything when he's inspecting a piece of evidence, like his order. Like he's looking, he's doing the smell, he's doing the taste, he's examining every little thing. I love that so much about him. He doesn't just skimp on things. And like I've seen other versions of animated Sherlock where he's just smart for the sake of being smart, and he'll just ramble a bunch of like stuff like, well, I think that this is this and this and this, but you don't really see the building blocks of how he gets to those kind of like calculations and conclusions. I feel like Basil really nails that. Whoa, let me scroll up. One pro. I didn't like Basil at first watch, but every watch his character and this movie get better. I love the scene where he feels defeated while goodbye so soon plays on the record player. Yes, I really love that scene too. It really adds to the story because like you really do feel like it's all over, and like the bigger reason why you feel like it's all over is because you've believed in Basil for so long because he has so much confidence in himself. Adam, honestly, lovable jerk is a trope that can often be used very poorly, but Basil is a perfect example of it done right. Exactly, yeah. Zelda, very obsessed, that's why I like him. Evan, did you find him overcoming Ratigan at the end satisfying? Yeah, of course. Leo, they really captured the dynamic where it's clear what Watson is having to smile and nod when he goes off on one. Not just because he's more into like, but because he's going, what the fuck are you on about? Yes, I noticed that when I was reading Sherlock as well, yeah. Leo, tasted the paper that a bat scummed after the hospital you the way he found out about Levert the tavern is pretty out there though. Yeah. Listy. Oh, there's good guy. I especially love the deadly rivalry between Ratigan and Basil, who are both equally smart, even if one of them is a tad short-tempered. Yes. They are equals. And like they could have gone the route of like, oh, Ratigan is just a dumb bad guy, who's all brawn and no brain, but like he's brawn and brain. So that's what makes him so imposing against Basil. It's there's a sense of competition there. Leo, this classic dynamic of Holmes and Moriarty is that great clash of egos to the point where you're screaming, "Get a room!" Yes, I know. Even the homoerotic queer coding is still in the Disney version, which is crazy. Billy, how can you picture Disney doing a remake of this movie? They probably will. They probably will eventually. Soda, telling my son we never got a sequel to Great Naps to Take for our animated series is one practically gift wrapped. Evan, I think it would be a horrible idea to make Ratigan a stupid villain. Okay, so yeah, that's Basil. That's my number 9. My number 9 was Basil. Where are we here? Okay. So my number 8. Who is my number 8? My number 8 is Robin Hood from Robin Hood. Another great example of like a character who I grew up with as a kid and really resonated with, because you have to remember that growing up I lived pretty much around the corner from Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest was part of my childhood, and to me the folklore character of Robin Hood meant so much. It means a lot to like northern culture in general. And I just loved going to Sherwood Forest and pretending to be Robin, because like they had like a gift shop where you could like dress up as Robin Hood, and it's like to come home and just to like see like an animated Disney character that wasn't the villain, that was British, that had my accent and like was doing good things, was doing noble things, like really meant a lot. And like even though I saw like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves at the exact same time, they Americanized the hell out of that. But what I love about Robin is that he's just so damn naturally charming. So friggin' charming. He doesn't even have to try. He's just default charm. So much charisma. And a bit like Aladdin, he has that mix of like cheekiness but also kindness that I really love, and that romanticism as well. Like he's just so romantic. He's so beautifully romantic. I suppose it's based. It's also love Robin Hood. So this movie was among my favorites as a kid. Good guy. One last thing. Even if the London depicted in The Great Mouse Detective is scary as fuck, I feel safe with Basil. That's a real place. Yeah, Sherwood Forest is a real place. It's a real forest that you can go to, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. It was one of my favorite childhood memories going there. I really loved it. It was really fun just going there to pretend to be Robin Hood. Like, it's so easy when you're there. Leo says, Robin was always my cousin's biggest fictional crush next to Kovu. I can't believe so many Americans didn't realize that Sherwood is a real place. It is. I could get a train to there right now. I honestly could. It's great. It's great. It's changed a lot since I was a kid. Because some of my favorite things about it have been taken down now. Like one of the best things I loved wasn't to do with Robin Hood. It was actually in the visitor center. They had a part where it was interactive and it had all these plants. And if you pressed a button, it would tell you if the plant was edible or not. And you press a button, and you hear like a really muffled kind of like, you'd either hear mmm, which means it's edible, or you hear a bleh, which means you can't eat it. Just stuff like that really stuck with me. Where am I in chat? I know they say that a lot. Cool guy, is it bad if the Disney Robin Hood is my favorite incarnation of the character? I mean, foxes are cute. No, I honestly, of the versions I've seen, I feel like this is probably the most accurate to the folklore, to like Northern British folklore. Zelda, Robin Hood inspired me to use a bow that I had when I was 12. Cool. I mean, like you could buy bows and arrows at the Sherwood Forest gift shop, but it was like rubber, and you had to kind of like lick the rubber, pull it back, and you could shoot it like a glass window or something. It was awesome when you were a kid, though. Yeah, it was really cool. You get like a load of arrows, and you could have like a pocket for them. It was cool. It was really cool. Leo, it's funny to think that the Fox is one of the few Robin Hoods on the silver screen that were actually played by a British actor. Yes. Evan, do you think it's the choice of making whoa, chat's just jumping around. Do you think it's a good choice of making Robin a fox has any effect on the character? Yeah, because he's meant to be sly, he's meant to be sneaky, but in a good way that he uses it to his advantage. Listy, I do love Robin Hood, but I kind of sad we didn't get a straight up reign of folk tale. Billy, Jambi, which version of Robin Hood is your favourite besides the Disney version? I've not seen that many versions, if I'm honest. Computer guy, I had the same reaction when I heard the Brochelandi forest from Our Tales as a real place as well. Sorry if I said that wrong, by the way. Billy, what about doing the Great Mouse Detective with humans? I don't know if I'd like that. I like them as mice. The novelty is that they're like mice that live in Sherlock's house. Zelda, I love when he told Prince John to look at the orb, but then smack his paw saying naughty, naughty. It made me laugh. He is funny. He is naturally funny. Leo, okay, this is actually here. It's like the thing I saw recently where so many Americans thought certain things in Harry Potter with these whimsical, magical concepts, but are actually normal in the UK. It's cute seeing Americans learn these things about us. But yeah, Sherwood Forest and Nottingham are real. Yeah, Nottingham is a real place. It's Nottingham is right next to where I live. Billy Jambareeqi, my favourite Robin was Kevin Costner. Carrie Elwes, yes. I'd say Carrie Elwes is my second favourite. I love Carrie Elwes' version. Yeah. Carrie's a great Robin. But yeah, I love Robin and I love Robin Hood. Brilliant. Like what, and like it's one of those rare occasions where I can see a Disney animated film and I can feel a sense of cultural pride, because with so many other Disney animated films, it's whenever it's about Britain, it's about like the dark side of it, or the villainous side of it, or the fairy tale side of it. So it's just nice to see one of our icons in a Disney animated film done really, really, really well. Listy, oh no, what if they remade Basil as live action, but in the same way they did the Cats musical? No, don't jinx them and don't give them ideas, Listy, don't. I said that to someone that saw Cats in cinemas, don't do it. Leo, Marlon, my darling, I love you more than life itself. Yes, love that line so much. With buttholes, no, stop giving them ideas. But yeah, so my number 8 was Robin Hood. Next up Who is next? My next choice is definitely going to go to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Probably, really, because they're just the whole Stitch franchise. But you already know that I absolutely adore Stitch. I love the arc of him being born as this corrupt monster, but being slowly developed into a much more compassionate character, while also retaining that silliness that he has, that goofiness, that naughtiness that he has, while he's also developing. Like, I love that to bits. And obviously I adore the friendship he has with Lilo. It's so perfect. It's bread and butter. They were meant to be together. They're meant to be friends. I love that. I mean, like, when I look at all these Disney heroes I have on my list, he's the only one that's like, he's weird. He's so out there for a Disney hero. It's one of those rare times when Disney really took a chance with, like, a Disney hero that was like, so what? Because he's this alien that's like almost dog-like, but also has other attributes of other aliens we might have seen in films, and like he can he can like grow arms, he can grow an antenna, super strength. There's just so much there to him. Leo says, Fluffy Boy. Zelda gives Stitch a hug. Billy says Stitch is awesome. Soda, so naughty. Billy, did you guys see the Stitch anime? I saw one episode and I wasn't interested, if I'm honest. Cooper, such a chaotic ball of energy, and that's why we love him. Yes, he is pure chaos, but like it's also interesting seeing him kind of like being tamed and like being able to control that chaos in a good way. Billy, I love the villain they introduced in the series and the direct-to-video movies. Yes, that's Dr. Hamsterville. Evan, if Stitch, a character made to be pure evil, could turn good, do you think the same could be said about someone like Emperor Palpatine? No. Palpatine and Stitch are completely different characters. Stitch was created to be evil. Palpatine is a fascist, genocidal maniac. Adam, did you ever see the delete scene where Stitch sees Lilo's fish die? Yeah, we talked about this in another stream. I loved all the advertisement that was made around him, portraying him as an outcast among other Disney heroes. Yes, there is that sense of edge to him, that sense of like meta edge and kind of like breaking the mold of what we expect from Disney. Leo, I should mention, for some reason, Asda has started selling a lot of Stitch home and kitchen merch. Him and Angel, oddly enough. I'm kind of surprised that they sell Angel. Very obscure for like with British Disney related stuff. We're kind of like, we don't really look at the obscure stuff. How many people who didn't watch the series even know who she is? Yes, never thought they merch to her. I think they've probably made merch for every experiment. Kirst, knowing that he was created from nothing makes it even more heartbreaking when Lilo asks what happened to his parents. Yes, well, that's another thing I really like about him, and what I resonate with him is his sense of loneliness and his sense of like solitude and his place in this world. Where am I? And the chat goes wild. Yeah, it feels like it. Calm down, I need to catch up. Zelda, just don't give him coffee. True. He handles coffee probably better than Hogarth, though. Billy, have you heard they're doing a remake of Yes? Zero interest in that. It's going to be awful, probably. Adam, I really love his relationship with Jumbo. The two understand each other so well, even though it's not shown as much as his relationship with Lilo. Yes, I really like it as well, because technically they're father-son, but they don't embrace that sort of dynamic. And like, I like any scenes where it's just the two of them alone. I really like that. Whether it's the scene in the first film where he's kind of like asking Jumbo, who the hell am I? Or when he discovers they has cousins, things like that, yeah. Soda, the adverts, get your own movie. They used to kill me as a kid, especially when you first see on for the first time. Ospredo, Hero's so good, he's the most internationally marketable hero in Disney history outside the Mickey gang. Billy, Jamie, have you seen another deleted scene where they steal a plane? Yes, I have. Leah, my favourite Stitch moment is in the sequel where Lilo is about to throw down with Myrtle and he holds a bag, and then you'll never be like your mom. Stitch is just, okay, Roxa! Let's beat the shit out of her and takes photos, and that's a friend. Evan, if Stitch was a genocidal fascist, would you still like him? Of course not. But he's luckily not. He was designed to be one. He was designed to grow up into one, but he's It doesn't go that direction. Last. Listy, Jumper is the only bad parent with a redemption arc that I care about. Yes, yes. He is, yeah. I mean, in general, I love Jumper and Pleakley's development throughout the entire series. I think it's great. I'd do a whole video on those two. I really would. I honestly would. Leo, him and the ugly duckling gets me right in the feels. Same. Billy, let's hope they don't give Stitch a ball. Let it go. Yeah, I know about the 9/11 situation. Here we go. Oh no, what are you all talking about? Tell me I'm understanding that wrong and Disney isn't making a live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. They are. I think the only casting I've heard so far is Zach Galifianakis as Pleakley, which I get. If you hear his voice for Lego Joking, yeah, it could work. It could work, but it's a Disney remake. I've got no faith. I've got no faith in anything working with that series. But yeah, Stitch, absolute legend, absolute icon. I feel like I might have a clip of him as well.
You came back.
Nobody gets left behind.
Legend. Okay, so that was my number 7, it seems. That was 7. Number 6. Number 6 is absolutely going to go to Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, like, I could put half the characters from that film on this list. I love all the heroes in Hunchback. But, like, yeah, she was definitely ahead of her time in the sense of, like, her voice of justice and standing up to authority and making it good for the world while defending her own culture. And I love her confidence as well, and how much she both owns her sexuality but also her strength as well. But I also like that while she is very in the front lines on the field when it comes to like her protests or rebellion, there are also moments where she stops and she thinks and she contemplates, particularly with the Outcast song in the church, and when she's in the church in general and going through Sanctuary. But yeah, love Esmeralda. Leo says, Esmeralda, fuck yeah. Soda, my feelings on Luna Stage, she made me laugh, sad scene happened, what else have you given me? But yeah, what do people think of Esmeralda? I mean, like, I love her relationship with any character at all in Hunchback, any character at all. I love her gentleness with Quasimodo and being the only one that actually gets Quasi. I love her flirtation with Phoebus, and I love her like hero-villain dynamic with Frollo as well. Like, every relationship with that film is so perfectly written. Guy, why are the sad scenes about these characters always the first things that comes to my mind? God help the outcasts. Yeah. I mean, like, again, yeah, she's a really strong character, like with a lot going for her. So I'm pretty sure I must have had a crush on her at some point. I think everyone did. Cupid, God help the outcast is a true highlight of Hunchback. It speaks to me personally, having faced discrimination myself. Bless you. Victor Hugo would have hated that film though, and its sequel even more. I think everyone hates the sequel. I don't think I've ever met someone ever that like enjoyed the Hunchback 2. And I've never seen it being defended by a single person. And I feel like every time I bring up Hunchback 2, it's the Disney sequel that gets the most anger out of people. But I think it's because people love the first film so much. So everyone's just thirsting over Esmeralda right now. Can we just talk about her as a personality? This isn't a cartoon crush stream, okay? She's got a great personality too. Yeah, she's very beautiful, but like I love her defiance. I love that, like, even when Frollo's like thinks he's in command, thinks he's got one over her, and she's just like, no. Yeah. Billy, the sequel lacks the dark themes and less dark. There's loads of problems with the sequel, except for Quasi and I think it's Madeline. Cuba Guy, indeed, I could defend almost every Disney sequel except that one. I hate it so much. Leo, there is so much to praise about Esmeralda, but can I just say how much I love her character design? Easily my favorite design of any woman in Disney film. Every single part of her is perfect. Her face shape, her eye shape, eyebrows, eye color, eye hair size, hair texture, colors, animation, costumes, voice, just oof, artist me likey. When you're pleasing artists this much, you definitely nailed the design. Listy, her voice is great. Always been a fan of Demi's huskiness. Yeah, I like Demi Moore's voice. But like the only other Demi Moore films I've seen would be Ghost and the Beavis and Butthead Do America. Also, I'm conflicted about watching this movie. From everything I've heard, it sounds a bit too deep for me, and paradoxically not deep enough because of the gargoyles. Yeah, you basically summed it up. If that's how you feel right now, you probably won't like it. But I mean, like, most Hunchback fans can like just get over the gargoyles. And I will say this: at least the gargoyles are less annoying and actually a little bit more helpful compared to the sequel. I also I love Esmeralda's fashion. I love her stage presence whenever she's actually performing, and how she owns the stage, and like how she can outwit anyone that comes after her as well using like a stage magic. It's so cool. I especially like how Esmeralda moves in this film. I can't exactly explain it, but she moves very differently from the other characters. She does, yeah. I think it's the confidence. She's got so much confidence in herself. Billy, she's the one that tells Quasimodo that he's been lied to the whole time, and he cares about her as a friend. Yeah, she is the one that like sees through the narcissism and like really helps him to break out of that bubble that Frollo's created. Like she didn't have to, but she does. I love that. Kutka, the gargoyles are just in Quasimodo's head. That's what I chose to believe, and it even makes the situation even sadder for him. So it's a win-win. I'd have to rewatch the film to see if that theory holds up. Zelda, she so kind of relates to, so much to Quasi being an outcast. Yes. Leo, the A-Team went on her red stage dress alone. The colours. Yes, absolutely. Adam, honestly, if Laverne was the only gargoyle in the film and Victor and Hugo were absent, she probably wouldn't be as hated. Possibly. Maybe. I guess so. I mean, Jason Alexander's gargoyle is probably the only one that's actually bad. The one that wants to have sex with a go, that one. Leo, generally funny too, like when she's just evading the guards, even when this is right after she went off on Frollo with such genuine anger and vitriol. Okay, she's perfect. yeah, she is great. It's the way she teases the guards. That little flip from like, I'm standing up for myself to, I'm now gonna troll you is so good. Here we go. Sorry, but I must at least quote the one before we move on. My jaw dropped the first time 5 to 6 year old me saw the scene of Sanctuary. I think I've got a clip as well. So let's show her probably her most iconic moment, probably my favorite moment.
Get down at once.
Yes, Your Honor. Just as soon as I free this poor creature.
I forbid it. How dare you defy me?
You mistreat this poor boy the same way you mistreat my people. You speak of justice, yet you are cruel to those most in need of your help.
Silence!
Justice!
Brilliant. Love it. Okay, let's move on to my number 5. Who is my number 5? I knew from the beginning Mulan was going to be on this list. I love Mulan so much. I really do. I love that no matter what, at the end of the day, what she cares about the most is her family. So much so she doesn't really give herself a chance to be who she wants to be, but like it is genuine love for her family. It's not just because of her tradition. She really adores her family, and she's sincerely worried for her dad and risks her life to take his place, which is amazing. But at the same time, I really like that. I really like the comedy of her trying to adapt and trying to be this soldier part, trying to do this role, and not being great at it. I like that. She could have just been like perfect at it straight away and be like, oh, I know how to be masculine, but like she's a lot clumsier, and like that's so adorable to me. But she She does end up taking it seriously. I also I really like how adaptable she is as well. And like she has this perseverance to her, because not just with like climbing up that pole, but also when they're on the battlefield, she's not just one of the soldiers. She looks, she observes, and she's like, look, I know I'm about to like go against orders, but I see an opportunity, and I'm gonna take down the enemy. I have an idea. I'm just gonna do it. That's just so awesome to me. It's great that she's kind of adorkable, but also got this bravery to her at the same time. And that happens. Sometimes someone can be kind of a nerdy, but also deep down, when push comes to shove, they can be really courageous. Okay, wow. I think someone's still talking about Esmeralda. Sorry, I've moved on. Evan, Mulan's probably the smartest official Disney princess, probably. Billy, let's not forget they did her dirty in the remake. Oh yeah. Leo, gotta love Mulan, the only official Disney princess with a body count in the thousands. Yep. Billy, and it was hated in China, the remake actually. Zelda, her clumsiness is so relatable. It's super damn relatable. Like, I feel like half the mess ups that Mulan does on a training, I'm like, I would do that. I would totally do that. That's what I would do. And I love a little dynamic with Mushu as well. Like, Mushu becomes almost like family to her. And like, she's also great with animals. I think that's something that a lot of people look over, is like, she really loves animals, and she's like one of the only characters that's actually really gentle and kind to animals throughout the film. Which is, of course, is a Disney trope. Here we go. First scene that comes to mind with her is the short hair scene. That was so badass and kind of a big deal too. Yes, absolutely. The music in that moment is just iconic. Listy, thing is, she's not actually clumsy. She's anxious in the situation, and that's what makes her mess up. Yes. When she knows what she's doing, she can do it. Yeah, I think it is less clumsy and more like a lack of confidence. She needs to kind of grow that confidence. Zelda, who else writes notes on their arms? Leo, they really get that right here. She takes up the armor, but she's not immediately showing the men how it's done. Girl power. No, she's human. She had to try and fail over and over again before she finally started improving, and then just kept progressing. Yeah, she's not a robot. She's not a robot, and like, she's not doing this to. She's not. What's interesting about her arc is that she doesn't go into it wanting to pretty much prove herself. She ends up proving herself along the way, because she's gone into to be a substitute for her dad. Like, that's she wants to be a decoy. That's her focus. It's only throughout the film and bonding with the group and understanding the politics of the war and like becoming a better soldier. That's when she's like, actually no, I do want to prove myself. And it really leads to that really great epiphany scene after she's exposed. Cooper, I rewatched Mulan not too long ago. I still stand by my statement of her being the most badass Disney heroine. She technically is, yeah. Cooper guy, I also love how she compensates her lack of muscles by her brain power. Yeah, she is very, very smart. Adam, one of the things I love of Mulan's dynamic with the other soldiers is their mutual hatred for James Hong's character. Yes, I love it too. My favorite lyric is, a girl worth fighting for is Yao's comment that the only girl she would love him is his mother. And I love the way he looks at him straight after. Leo, plus it's literally military boot camp. Everyone's falling arse over tit as they're put through training. Yes. Billy, Jeremy, what do you think of her in the sequel and in the sequel in general? I've not seen the sequel for ages. It's been probably like 7 years at this point, so I don't remember. I don't remember what the sequel's even like. So I can't really say. Yeah, Mulan at my number 5. Mulan is definitely my number 5. And I love her. I love her romance with Shen Li. I love that so much, and like how she brings out the best in him. But he also brings out the best in her as well. They really inspire each other. It's great. But yeah, I think it's time to move on to my next choice. So what is my number 4? My number 4 is Tiana from The Princess and Frog. Hell freaking yes. As a workaholic myself, I really, really, really resonate with her. I really connect with her. I really do connect with her. And like I don't know. I really see a lot of myself here, and and like even I can sometimes let my work take over like opportunities to make human connections and stuff like that. But what I love about Tiana isn't just how hard she works, it's how passionate she is about cooking as well. Really passionate about cooking, and I like that Naveen is always trying to flex and flirt and kind of like one up her, but she's always kind of like no. she's always the one that's in command in every part of that adventure, particularly in the cooking scenes. So Leo just wants to say one more thing about was it Mulan? Oh yeah, I like that too. She didn't even come up into this with the goal of having to save China from the Huns. She just wanted to save her dad's life. There was never the delusion that I'm gonna go out there, kick ass, be the best, and save China. It was just I'm going to staying undercover so my dad doesn't die, even though I'll be very difficult. Yes. Here we go. The most hardworking Disney princess, Tiana, and I respect that a lot. Zelda says Tiana is so sassy. She is. I love her. I love her sass. Billy says Disney's answer to Jean Bob from Swan Princess. Leo, yes, I related so much to Tiana's workaholic aspect back before I burnt the candle at both ends. Billy, isn't the film supposed to be in the 30s or 40s? I can't remember what era it's supposed to be in. I honestly can't remember. I also really like that she is given opportunities to kick ass, even when she's a frog. Like, there are parts where she's able to, like, outwit humans. So, like, she's not just, like, a working machine. She's not just a really great cook. If she's in a situation where it's, like, life or death, she's like, right, fine, I know I'm stuck like this, but I'm gonna kick some ass. But I also really like that in the finale where Facilier does tempt her, does make her kind of like hand her dream on a platter, and she does think about it. I really like that. I really like that she doesn't immediately go no, because she's human. She's going to she's gonna have that little weakness for a moment, but it's not for long, because she reminds herself why she wants to cook, and that is the heart of a character. Is like how much her father meant to her, how much cooking with her dad meant to her. Oswald says, I remember seeing this in theaters. The first, the first 2D movie of my lifetime watching that. Billy, the ending is great, where they open a restaurant and Gator's playing with the sacks. Good guy. Yeah, Tiana freaking killed a sorcerer as a frog. Yeah. Leo, I'll be so glad to see her own series, because we didn't see enough of her as herself. Yes. Also wish she and Facilia got more scenes together. Agree, double agree, absolutely agree. Could be a prequel. One Probo, I like how Tiana's stuck in the belief that hard work equals success in capitalism, and she learns there's more to her dream of the restaurant than she originally thought. Why is this movie so underrated? Listy, I like that marrying a prince doesn't solve all her problems. She and Naveen could have just asked King and Queen-in-Law to buy the restaurant, but instead they set their alligator on the landlords. Evan, what's also great about Tiana is giving black people a voice, since she keeps getting rejected by whites for a restaurant. This will play a part in her final confrontation with Dr. Facilia. Billy, no, I'm not ready. Leo, her voice is also lush. I think it's Anika Rose, is it? I love her voice. Love her voice. She's got a great voice. And her singing voice is beautiful as well. Love the sound of her voice. Yeah. I think wasn't she like a winner of like some kind of music contest, like Pop Idol, American Idol or something? I think that's how she got the role or something. I can't remember. Cool guy. And I like the legal loophole they used to turn back into humans. Yes. So yeah, absolutely Tiana at my number 4. So I'm gonna keep things on a roll. Because I've got to get on with trying to get this video back online. So yeah, Tiana from Princess Frog is my number 4. So number 3, who is my number 3? It is Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So yeah, Quasi. Love him. Absolutely love Quasi. I've always loved Quasi. He's just so damn sweet. So damn vulnerable. And as someone that went through a domestic abuse situation, I find him so damn relatable. And like so easy to understand, and where his mind is going and what Frollo's trying to do. And like it's so satisfying to see all the strings that Frollo has like connected to him is just like cut one by one, particularly because of his new friends. But I also like that, yeah, he's really sweet, he's really gentle, but he's not soft, he's not Play-Doh. Like, he's incredibly acrobatic, he's incredibly agile, and like he's adapted to being able to like jump and climb all over Notre Dame, and like you can tell that like if he got into a fist fight with Frollo would be dead in a microsecond. Yeah, so yeah, what else do I love about Quasi? Tom Hulce's voice. I love Tom's voice. I love it. It's a little over enunciated, but I like that. It's so sweet. It's such a sweet voice. Like Adam was saying, Tom Hulce is an actor that doesn't get enough credit. His performance as Quasimodo is one of my favorite voiceover performances in any Disney movie. Agreed. Good guy. Oh dear, I want to hug this poor man so much. I'll always remember when we watched this film with my brother, one of his friends who couldn't believe Disney made something this dark. Leo, Quasi, God, he's just so sweet. You just want to hug him. You do want to hug him. He seems like the best hugger in the world, and he seems like someone who will hug anyone. Who will, it doesn't matter who you are. If you said, Quasi, can I have a hug? He'd be like, oh yes. He would, and like, I also have to say, he is so damn good with kids. Like at the end of the movie, it's a kid's innocence that like makes the public realize, okay, he's not a monster, and like his bond with that with Phoebus and Esmeralda's son is one of the only things that I like in Hunchback 2. He's just so cute with this kid, and like a really great uncle figure to him, and you feel like he could be an amazing dad. He honestly could be an amazing dad, a fun dad as well, because like he could climb over things and like it'd be fun for dad games. But yeah, Quasi, I love Quasi. I think Quasi's kind of an underrated character. And like when you say Disney heroes, you always think of like the princes and the dashing heroes and stuff. But like I feel Quasi deserves more appreciation. Billy, you feel sorry for him being raised by an abusive, cruel, and judgmental person. Absolutely. Wombaro, who is the monster? Who is the man? Leo, his song Out There is just, yes, such a powerful song. Yes, it is. Evan, just curious, why did Frollo make Quasi believe that the world is bad besides because he's evil? His intention with that was to... So I'm really hard to explain things off the top of my head. But like, his intention is to basically have control. His whole character is control and domination. And if he tells Quasi that the world is terrible, the world is bad, then he's less likely to defy Frollo, because he sees Frollo as the only one he can trust. Billy, out of versions of Hunchback, this one's my favourite. Cooper, even with everything he went through, one positive interaction with Esmeralda made him see the good in people. Yes, he is open-minded. It's just that his social life was so limited. Zelda, the little girl that gave him a hug in the end, will give me a tear and a smile. Adam, I really love how pure Quasi is, almost to a frustrating degree. The scene where he holds both Esmeralda and Frollo over the church stands out especially, as literally anyone else would just drop Frollo to a fiery death much sooner. Leo, the back and forth between him and Frollo, remember what I taught you, Quasi. You are deformed, you are ugly, as he parrots everything back. It's honestly so shocking to hear for the first time, because you're just reacting to the conditioning he's been out like through like what the fuck. Yeah, you see all the layers of the narcissism. Billy, the same way in the sequel, that's the one good thing about the sequel. Yeah, Quasi is one of the only, in general, as a character, is one of the only good things about Hunchback 2, and one reasons why I probably don't hate it as much as everyone else. just have a film where it's just Quasi being Quasi. Zelda, I was abused too. I'm very, very sorry. Computer guy, I wonder who between Frollo and Moffat is the more abusive parent. I'd say probably Frollo has way more power. Leo, you want a bucket full of sweet feels. Imagine him and Rapunzel being friends. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, Frollo is more like holier than thou. He lives in a delusion which makes him pretty dangerous. I'm pretty sure he killed a lot of people during the film just to find that one behemoth. Yes, yes. Listy, Frollo and Gothel is as a power couple. That's terrifying. That's creepy. Billy, even when they try to get into society, they abuse in the Festival of Fools. But yeah, Quasi. Quasi's my number 3. Love Quasi to bits. A part of me is kind of like, oh, I should put him higher. But like the characters I have even higher, I love just as much. Okay. One more thing. So from Leo, one observation I love is that his view of Esmeralda was challenged. He doesn't get with her because he viewed her on a different extreme. Frollo viewed her as a subject of lust and contempt. Quasi viewed her as an angelic figure. Phoebe saw her as she was, a human. That's why they ended up together. That's a really good observation. Right, next. Who is next? So, next, my number 2. Who is at number 2? My number 2 is Milo from Atlantis, The Lost Empire. It was so close to being my number 1. That's how much I love him. I love Milo. Again, a bit like... I feel like a lot of the characters I've put on my list that are a bit out there as heroes. And I feel like Milo is like the complete opposite of like a Disney hero, what you expect. Like, he's not strong, he's not dashing. He's none of those things, but still you root for him because he's an underdog, especially in this team he's been assigned to. And like, I love his adorability. I just love his passion more than anything. I love his passion for language, for culture, and like how curious he is, and how he wants to learn about everything and anything. And like when he's in Atlantis, he's just like, oh my, look, I want to know all these things, just tell me. He just wants to be educated so damn much. And that's adorable to me. That really is adorable. And the thing is, even though he is very physically disadvantaged, let's say, he is weak. I mean, like, you just go, but like, even though he is physically weak, he's not afraid to stand up to Rourke when we find out the truth about Rourke's intentions. He doesn't just sit there and it's like, oh god, there's nothing I can do. Oh, what can I do? He's just like, he knows that Rourke could just like punch him and he's down, but he's still just like morally and ethically, he's a badass, and he just like slays him with his speech, and like that is enough to convince the others to be like, no, this is wrong. That's wrong. He's strong on an emotional level. Where am I? Leo says, sweet nerdy boy. Soda says, to be fair, he is voiced by Marty McFly. Yeah, and it's good casting, Billy, yes. Listy, no one is surprised you rank that as a dog so highly. Billy, I love Atlantis in general. Zelda, he's like me then. Good guy, he's not even that smart. He would have seen immediately that he was working with mercenaries. I mean, he's smart, but only book smart. Yes, that's actually a really good point. Like, he's more of a book nerd than like socially intelligent, let's say. Billy, this is his first movie that isn't a musical. Is that true? I mean, like, we had Black Cauldron before. But like, I even love him in the sequel. Ospardo, I really feel like I should watch Atlantis after, since I love Treasure Planet. You've never seen Atlantis? Go check out Atlantis. You'll have a lot of fun, especially if how I'm describing Milo appeals to you. Leo, Milo Thatch loves history, nerdy, had a strong loving bond with his grandparent. Yes, I love that. Who he misses so dearly, and appreciates an old silver fox, man, after my own heart. Billy, Rourke only cared about being greedy, and he deserves his crystal death. Yeah. Zelda, I have to watch this movie again. I haven't seen it in ages. It's one of those films that I do really love to rewatch. It's one of my cheer-up movies, if I'm honest. Billy, he's a bookworm version of Indiana Jones. Yeah, pretty much. Cool guy. What annoys me about Atlantis is the movie is too short. It could have used 1 more hour. Actually, I do agree with that. I do. Whenever we get to the big twist reveal, I'm always like, oh, it's happened. Oh, okay. I do kind of wish we spent a bit more time in Atlantis, and it's a shame that the Atlantis sequel is not really about Atlantis. It would be nice to have. I mean, like, I think there's an Atlantis remake in the works. Doubt it'd be good, but it might be good if like they make it longer. Don't know. But yeah, I totally get what you mean. But Milo is just so damn. He's cute. He's really cute. I'm gonna say it. He's so cute. And like, yeah. Leo, his romance with Kida is so damn cute. I love their interactions. Yes, I love that it's a two-way street. Like, because like, Kida is interested in Milo's culture, but Milo's equally is interested in Atlantean culture. And like their little dynamic is so adorable, even though it's like 1 or 2 scenes. There's a very, very nuanced flirtation going on that I really like. Listy, yeah, it's a shame it didn't come later when Disney got more confident straying away from the 8-minute area of time. Yeah. Evan, slightly different question. Who is the better twist villain, Rock or Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph? Turbo. But yeah, does anyone else want to say anything else about Milo before I reveal my number 1? I mean, like, if you know me well, then you know who my number 1 is. And I feel like it's probably too obvious. Leo, yes, I can read Atlantean just like you. You can't, can you? Oh, yeah, things like that, little details like that, so great for their relationship. But the sequel is just episodes of an Atlantis animated series that never happened, which sucks because I would love to see the story continue. Zelda, I want a character to speak my language, and I think I want to talk about history with Milo. Aww. I mean, like, yeah, it is awesome that Milo has committed this much to a language that no one else is speaking. And, like, he's apparently very fluent in it as well. He's super damn fluent at it. And, like, it's great seeing Kida actually, like, being like, wow, you can speak my language? Billy, what about Clayton as a twist villain? I don't know, because I've not seen Tarzan in ages. But, yeah, so that's my number 2, Milo. Who could my number 1 be? Place your bets now. Who do you think it is? Who do you think I picked? And to be fair, even though it probably is obvious, there still was a chance that I was gonna like make them my number 2. Listing, I think I probably predicted it with my pun. Soda, wait, we didn't have a clip. There's not many clips, I'm afraid, for... I mean, like, I didn't have a clip for most of the characters, because I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to put together a clip for all 10, I'm afraid. Kronk's technically not a hero until the sequel. Could be Rapunzel, could be the guy. I mean, a lot of people speak Esperanto or Krell. Billy says Tarzan. So just Adam, well, obviously it's gonna be Gurgi. Everyone's saying Tarzan. Love Tarzans. I'm gonna like reveal it very slowly. So, my number 1 is Hercules! Like the very definition of a hero. It's absolutely Herc. It's totally Herc. It's everything I want from an animated hero. It is everything. He's pure himbo. He kicks ass. There is more. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. He's a romantic. He's hardworking as hell, and like overcomes his clumsiness to be a badass. And And he's just so adorable. He's so damn adorable. Leo says, I think you mean Huncules. Horse Potter says, wonderful guy and awesome movie. Yeah, I knew a lot of people knew this. It was Herc, but Herc, even I wasn't too sure who my favorite Disney hero was until I was just like narrowing everything down and being like, okay, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? But like, it's so clear to me now. It's so clear to me that Herc is my favorite. Evan, even though Herc is a god, would you call him relatable? Well, yeah, because like he's a demigod. He's still got that mortality to him, and he still goes through mortal problems, particularly when he was younger. Leo, in a nutshell, he's Disney Superman, which figures because I know I've gotten you to like Superman because of their similar personalities. Yes, yes. Billy, he's such a lovable and likable guy. Ospodo, I want to watch it again. I mean, yeah. Hercules to me is one of those films where no matter what, I put it on, and I feel 10 times happier. It is one of my major cheer-up movies, and Herc is a huge reason why. Just because he's just so damn gentle and caring, even though he's like this big hulking guy that could like smash down a monster. I really love his scenes with Meg because that softness comes out the most there, or his flirtatious side comes out, or he gets a bit shy, he gets a bit embarrassed, and he's like, I love their scenes together, and their dynamic, their relationship is so wonderful, and like you can see so much chemistry working in its way throughout the film there. Yes, I know about the remake. Leo, Good says it's maybe my biggest Disney comfort song. It is very inspiring. It is super inspiring. I tend to listen to the Michael Bolton version from the end credits. Cuba Dude, another one I rewatched not too long ago. I feel for him early on because I can relate to him because I have many episodes of not knowing my place in the world. Yeah, that is what's interesting about Herc as a character, is that it's not so much as him trying to prove how strong he is. It's more about him trying to find like where he fits into the big picture as a demigod. That's who he is, and that's what makes him relatable. Whoa, chat's going crazy now. As soon as I mention it. Adam, I'd be lying if I didn't feel the same amount of joy as Phil did when the guy said that's Phil's boy when they're referring to Herc. Yeah, because we're proud too. We've seen him from as a baby to becoming this amazing hero who proves himself. We're gonna be the same exact level as Phil by the end. Leo, keep me for detail. His blue cape he wears throughout the film is the shawl his adoptive mother gave him when he left. I remember seeing this actually. It looks smaller because he got so huge. Yes. Billy, I'm surprised this didn't get a sequel, either theatrical or direct-to-video. The closest it got was Hercules Zero to Hero, which I think is the first couple of episodes of the TV show stitched into a movie, I think. But the problem is I can't find it anywhere, but I know it exists. It got released. It's an official Disney Toon release. I just don't know where, because it didn't end up on DVD. It's on VHS. Cool guy. Pretty wild to think Disney pretty much took one of the Greek mythological figures and made him a Superman ersatz. I do note I'm not complaining. Zelda, even after being a hero, he's still the same Herc. Yes. That Herc that you get to know when he's a clumsy teenager is still the Hercules that's later on. There's still an essence of him there, even when he's at the top. Guy, Herc literally died to save Meg. More than that, he literally grew old to save Meg. He literally decayed his body to save Meg. So the TV series is the closest we get. Yes, the TV series is pretty good as well, by the way. I really like the TV series. Canonically, it doesn't make sense, but like it's a really good show. Listy, Herc should have had spun the planet backwards to turn back time and save her life. What an idiot. Zelda, but Barrels, Ospodo. I don't even know what episodes that direct-to-video is comprised of. I don't know. I'd like to find it. Zelda, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you would understand. Yeah, I've not played Kingdom Hearts yet. Billa says it must be lost media. It's not it's not so much as lots, because like I know they probably sell the VHS on like eBay or something. Computer Guy, except when it comes to its animation, that was terrible. The ugliest TV show. But to be fair, the animation for most Disney 90s cartoons was pretty bad. Pretty damn bad. Yeah, Aladdin's was worse. Yeah, I do agree, Listy. Soda, what are you doing? You're quoting. I thought you were talking to me then. What are you doing? Get your sword! Oh yeah, a hero's not as good as his weapon. I would really like to have like you guys says Recess look pretty good. Recess had like a weird, I'm gonna be honest, I preferred Recess when it was a bit more choppy, because at the beginning in the earlier episodes there's a bit more detail. They take a bit more risks with the animation, and like the characters they move a bit more rubbery, and like there's like a weird dark atmosphere to the school as well, and like there's all those scratchings in the backgrounds, and yeah, I prefer the old style more, because the further we got on with Recess, the more sterile the animation got. Even in the movie even has like kind of sterile animation as well, and it's kind of a shame that they dropped that kind of like that style. But I think The Simpsons had the same kind of direction as well. Got off completely track. But yeah, I would be down for doing a Hercules watch along, by the way. 100% down for that. Billy says, I love that crossover they did with Aladdin. Yeah, I think that's the only Aladdin episode I've saw. No, it was a Herc episode, wasn't it? Leo, excuse me, checks between the centaur's legs, sir. Soda, while looking like a comic book. Leo, use your head. Oh yeah, headbutts the motherfucker into the sky. I love you, Herc. I love the way his mind works. It's like, gets the job done. He is honestly one of, like, if you were to ask me to do a top 5 himbo list, he would be on my top 5, no arguments. And if he wasn't on there, I'd be 100% understandable for sort of why isn't he on there? He's like, he just perfects the trope so well, perfects it so damn well. Here we go. The TV show is pretty hard to find. I didn't know it even existed until the 2010s. Here we go. Here's the thing: in Europe, we don't get on Disney Plus. In America, they get on Disney Plus. Jealous. I only know this because I used ExpressVPN on Disney Plus America, and I was like, look all the stuff they've got. They got the Hercules TV show. We don't have that. There's a lot of things we do not have on Disney Plus. Didn't you already do a top 5 himbo list? I don't recall doing one. I've done Cartoon Crushers lists. That's it, really. I don't remember. I'll be down for a himbo list, but I feel like I should check out more himbos to make it fair, if I'm honest. But yeah, before I head off, because I really do need to head off soon. Let me know, who is your favorite Disney hero? If you had to pick your number 1 favorite Disney hero, who is it and why? They do well. I do have a VPN to try that. Yeah, go try it. They've got Hercules. I'm jealous. It's very annoying. You know what? No, you know what I find really annoying? Okay, I'm gonna take this down so we know we've moved on from the topic now. I find it really annoying that there is a lot of British media that's not available on UK Netflix, but totally available in America and other countries. I'm like, why? Why? That's ours. Why are we not allowed to see our own stuff? It's so annoying. Ugh. Leo says, Jam, doing a himbo list, good luck narrowing it down to 5. Oh no, nah. It's gonna be so hard. So does this, I know, right? It's so frustrating. It's so damn frustrating. I mean, like, I've been trying to, like, find Aardman films for an upcoming project, and, like, Netflix has, like, 2 of them. Netflix UK has 2 of them, has 2 Aardman movies, and you have to kind of, like, I think a couple of them in Denmark for some reason. They're only on the Denmark one. Why? 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 Evan says, mine would be Todd from The Fox and the Hound because I really like sweet, quiet child characters. Aw. Ospardo says, Iago has been an anti-hero since Aladdin 2, so he's my favourite. Yeah, I get it. Technically he becomes a hero. Computer Guy, this is going to sound weird, but even if I can't tell who my favourite Disney hero is, I do know that Jim Hawkins is up there. I find this dude and what he goes through so touching, and he feels so real. Yes, I was very close to putting Jim on my top 10. Very, very close. Adam, I appreciate Sebastian as a character more and more as I get older, so he's definitely up there as one of my favourite Disney heroes. Yeah, our stuff. Yes. It's not like England takes other countries' stuff. Come on. Okay, fine. You can take the Shaun the Sheep movie from us. Fine. We stole on all of your antiques and your culture. You take Shaun the Sheep on Netflix. Listy, do any of the Muppets count? It depends how you want to do the rules, because my rules are dropped now. I love Timon as well. I love Timon in Lion King 3. I really love Timon's character in Lion King 3. Zod's Melody, I like it. Oh yeah, I really like Melody. I do kind of hope that I get a chance to review Little Mermaid 2 some point this year to time with the remake. So fucking Netflix, come on, give us our stuff, give us British stuff. Not fair. Why does Denmark get to watch like pirates with? No, right? If Aardman, if we're not allowed to have Aardman films, at least get the titles right, because I know that in the UK, Pirates is called An Adventure with Scientists, but then when it got over to America, it got changed to An Adventure with Misfits because of religious reasons, I think, apparently. So, like, keep the title. If you're gonna take it, keep the title. Here we go. Little Mermaid 2 was so good to being good. Yeah, I do agree, actually. There was potential there. There really was potential there, particularly with Melody's character. Adam, I actually think my favourite Disney hero is Meg. So close to putting Meg on my list as well. Everyone's just saying characters that I would have put on here. You think a top 10 is like, okay, that's easy. That gives me so many characters to put on there. But when you do it, you're like, actually, no. Narrowing down to 10 is harder than I thought. Yeah, it's not called Band of Misfits over here in the UK. It's called... No, it is, yeah. It's called Band of Misfits in the UK. No, it's not. It's confusing me now. It's called Adventure with Scientists in the UK, and Band of Misfits in the US. Leo, I've grown to appreciate Cinderella and Ariel more as I've gotten older, because they never deserved the shit they got from the popular conscious as a damsel who waits on a man, or a dumb teenager who sells her voice for a man. Shut the fuck up. They were abused and stayed way stronger and held on to so much happiness despite the hell we saw them put through. Agreed. And other characters I was close to putting on my list. Oh, so I kind of wish I made this as a top 20, even though I didn't have time. Yeah, America always changes so many titles of things. Stop it. Anyway, I better be off now. Gotta go and upload this DreamWorks video. And I've got to move on to other projects. Wednesday I'll be doing a quiz on Roald Dahl movies, so look forward to that. And on Friday I'll be trying to play Read Write Type again. Leo, if scientists were controversial, makes me wonder who they'd love the sequel, if they love the sequel book Pirates and Adventure of Communists. But yeah, cheerio folks. Hope you're smiling, hope you're laughing. Hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it's for you.